All right, so today for lesson 4.9, we're going to start with a little warm up, and my question is, what date on the calendar has digits with the value of two tens and four ones? Two tens and four ones. Hopefully, you said the 24th has the value of two tens and four ones. What date has a value of 110 and five ones? 110 and five ones. Hopefully you said the 15th, 110 and five ones. Okay, what date has a value of three tens? Three tens. That's going to be the 30th, and we'll do one more. What date has a value of zero tens and nine ones? Zero tens and nine ones. That's going to be the 9th. Nice job, nice job. All right, so let's look at our essential question for today. So it says, how can drawing a diagram help when solving problems? How can drawing a diagram help when solving problems? So that's what you should be able to explain by the end of the lesson today, how drawing a diagram can help when you're solving a problem. So we're on page 285 of your math book, and it's a problem solving day. So we're gonna be working on solving word problems, okay? And how can we solve those problems? And that's where drawing a diagram is going to help us when we're solving addition problems. Okay, so you're on this page. I'm gonna make mine bigger. I was gonna change the page, but we'll make it bigger. Okay, so here's the problem we're going to solve. It says Kendra had 13 crayons. Her dad gave her some more crayons. Then she had 19 crayons. How many crayons did Kendra's dad give her? So we don't know this right here. We don't know her dad gave her some more crayons. We don't know how many her dad gave her. Okay, so here's the thing. We're going to unlock the problem. It says, what do I need to find? I need to find how many crayons Kendra's dad gave her. So let's go ahead and trace the words, how many crayons. Okay, and you probably pause your video to do that. Okay. What information do I need to use? Okay, so she had blank crayons. After he gave her some more crayons, she had blank crayons. So let's see, she had 13 crayons. So we're going to write 13 in the blank. And then after he gave her some more crayons, she had 19 crayons. Okay, so we're going to write 19 on this blank. Okay, and I'm going to go down my page. And so here's my diagram I'm going to use to help me solve my problem. You've seen these before. It's the part whole. And so it says, show how to solve the problem. Okay, this is what we're thinking. We're thinking we know there are 13 crayons in all. So in all is whole. That's my whole, okay, right? Because there's parts. This is my whole, the 19. So it's going down here in this big bracket that means whole, okay? We know she had 13 crayons and Dad gave her some. We don't know this number. This is the missing number. That's what we need to solve. So we know she had 13. So let's trace this. And then Dad gave her some, right? She added to her 13. Dad gave her blank. We don't know how many. So that's why we put this gray box. And then once Dad gave her some, then she had 19. And so we're figuring out how many did Dad give her. So we've drawn this diagram to help us. Okay, so we know to get from 13 to 19, we have to count up. So the numbers we say, right, so this is what we think. We think what number comes after 13. So 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So those are the numbers we say to count up from 13. So we counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers. So 6. So that means Dad gave Kendra 6 crayons. Okay? So we just did, right? Let's go back to the top. This essential question, how can drawing a diagram help when solving addition problems? That's what we just did right here with this diagram. Let's go to our next page. So we are on page 286. Let's solve some more problems together, okay? It says label the bar model, write the number sentence with a gray box for the missing number, and solve. So here's your first problem. Mr. Kane had 24 red pens. He buys 19 blue pens. How many pens does he have now? Okay, so let's work through this. So we've got our diagram. So Mr. Kane, let's see. We got to figure out how many he has now. How many in all? Because we don't know, right? So we don't know the whole. We don't know this number. This is the number we have to solve. Okay, so he had 24, right? He buys 19. How many does he have now? So that's what we have to figure out. We have to combine these two numbers. So we have to, let's see, we're going to write in our blank for our number sentence 24 plus 19, and if I'm going too fast at any time, just pause, equals, and then we're going to draw a box because we don't know what it equals yet because we haven't solved it. That's what we're trying to solve for this missing number. So I'm going to use this blank space over here and I'm going to rewrite the problem because we've learned the strategy. So 24, right, because we're past having to draw a quick picture all the time, plus 19, and then my equal bar, that's the last thing I write. Okay, so 4 plus 9 is 13, so that 13 is 1 10 and 3 ones. And then I add my tens, so I have 4 tens. So that means Mr. Kane has 43 pens. So we're going to write 43 here, and we're going to write 43 here. Okay, now let's go to our next problem. Hannah has 10 pencils. Jim and Hannah have 17 pencils all together. That's an important word, all together. That's kind of like in all. How many pencils does Jim have? Okay, so all together they have 17. So that's a whole. So I'm going to write it down here. And part of them is how many Hannah has. But we don't know how many Jim has. So this is my missing number, Jim's pencils here, Jim's part. So we have Hannah, so we're going to write the number sentence. So we have Hannah's plus Jim's. Do we know how many Jim has? Nope. So gray box. So 10 plus blank equals how many they have all together, which we said they have 17 all together. So we're looking for that missing number. So we're going to count up. So I'm going to write what I'm thinking. Okay? So 10 plus a number equals 17. So I'm going to count up 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'm going to keep going until I get to 17. 15, 16, 17. So we counted up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers. So we're going to write a 7 here. So that means Jim has 7. 10 plus 7, Hannah's 10, plus Jim's 7 equals 17. So that means Jim had 7 pencils because that's what I needed to find out. How many pencils does Jim have? All right, let's turn the page. All right, let's see. Let's do these two together. Okay, let's see. All right, Amy and Matthew catch 17 crickets in all. Amy catches 9 crickets. How many crickets does Matthew catch? So you're going to do that one on your own. So pause your video and do it on your own, and then I'll show you how to solve it. Okay, so let's see. Amy and Matthew catch 17 crickets. I'm going to underline this in all. That means how many they caught together. Okay. Amy catches 9 crickets. How many crickets does Matthew catch? So we're going to start with that 17. Where do we put it? We're going to put it here because that's the whole amount. That's how many Amy and Matthew caught together. And then they told us that Amy caught 9, but we don't know how many Matthew caught. So Matthew's part, we don't know how much he has. We just know how many they have as a whole and how many Amy caught her part. Okay, so we've got to count up from 9 to 17 to solve our problem. Okay, so let's write our number sentence first. So 9, Amy's 9, plus Matthew's blank, because we don't know how many he caught, and then there's 17 in all. There's our number sentence. Okay, so now we got to solve for the blank. So I could count up, right? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And so I counted up 8 hops. So 9 plus 8 equals 17. So that means Matthew, how many crickets does Matthew catch? Matthew catches 8 crickets. All right, I'm going to read you this one, and then I want you to solve it, and then unpause your video, and I'll tell you the answer. All right, so Percy counts 16 grasshoppers at the park. He counts 15 grasshoppers at home. How many grasshoppers does Percy count? So you're trying to figure out how many grasshoppers Percy counted. So go ahead and pause your video, work through this, and unpause it and see if you got it right. Okay, so Percy counted 16 at the park, 16 grasshoppers. And then he counted 15 grasshoppers when he got home. And we want to find out how many grasshoppers Percy counted, the whole number he counted that day. So our number sentence is going to be 16 plus 15 equals blank, because we don't know how many he caught. So I'm going to rewrite this, okay, in a way that makes sense, because we're adding. So I'm going to line up my 10s and my 1s. I'm going to put my plus sign, then I'm going to put my equal bar, and then I'm going to start solving. So 6 and 5 is 11, so 1 10 and 1 1. Then my 10s is going to be 30, so 3 10s. Okay, so he counted 31 grasshoppers that day. And then we're starting to wrap up. The last thing we're going to do is the Think Smarter problem. Right down here, the blue box problem. I like to do these. These are important. These are test problems. All right, so there are 23 books in a box. There are 29 books on a shelf. How many books are there? Okay, so I need to find how many there are in all. So I need to rewrite this problem. So 23 books plus 29 books. So pause your video and solve that. Alright, so here's what I came up with. So 3 plus 9 is 12. 12 is 1 10 and 2 1s. And this is 5 10s, so 50. And so that means there are 52 books. Pretty simple. Alright. Homework. Go to the homework pages. Alright, so you need to do page 289. Don't forget to do this problem down here, number 3. You got to do some writing. And then the back page, the lesson check. Alright, good luck.